Did you know that the average small business spends hours every week on repetitive data entry and manual handoffs between apps? Now imagine turning that entire process into a sleek, profitable service you can sell to clients. What if you could automate it all with a flexible tool that won't lock you into one vendor or a sky-high contract? Today I'm breaking down how I make money with n8n automation. Step by step. We'll go from identifying a repeatable workflow to delivering a polished automation package you can sell as a service, and I'll show you how to monetize it without burning out your days. If you've ever wanted to combine technical leverage with entrepreneurial thinking, this video is for you. We'll cover the core strategy, the exact features that matter, a hands-on demo, and the pricing paths you can offer to clients. By the end, you'll have a repeatable playbook you can reuse for dozens of clients, all powered by n8n. Let's start with the problem. You're a solo founder, a consultant, or a small agency. Your clients live in a world of forms, emails, spreadsheets, CRMs, and chat apps. A lead comes in through a form and you need to move data into your CRM, create a lead record, send a personalized email, and then alert the sales team in Slack. On top of that, you want the process to run automatically every time with accuracy and speed. But building automation at scale is hard. Enterprises pay for pricey platforms, and you either accept a learning curve that eats your time or you overpay for features you'll never use. API changes break flows. You want something that's flexible, affordable, and reliable enough to deploy for clients who rely on real-time data. This is where n8n comes in. n8n is an automation tool built around open-source flexibility and a node-based approach to connecting apps. It's not just about set it and forget it, it's about building robust automations you can sell as services. Because it's open source, you're not locked into a single vendor, and you can customize, extend, or publish your own connectors as needed. Because it's modular, you can pick only the pieces you'll actually use for a client project, keeping scope tight and pricing clear. And because you can host it yourself or opt for a managed cloud, you choose the balance of control and convenience that fits your business model. In short, n8n gives you the freedom to design efficient workflows while keeping the door open to monetization strategies like package offerings, retainer-based automation engineering, and repeatable onboarding playbooks. Now, what are the most important features you'll lean on when you're building a monetizable automation service with n8n? I'd boil them down to 5 core capabilities. First, a visual node-based editor. You don't need to be a software engineer to wire up complex automation. The drag-and-drop interface lets you assemble triggers, actions, and data transformations into a single end-to-end workflow. This is the backbone of your service. You can design a clean, repeatable process that you can explain to clients, price per workflow, and reuse across projects. Second, a broad library of connectors and reusable nodes. n8n ships with a growing set of integrations for the apps most teams use: CRMs, email, spreadsheets, form tools, project management, chat, payment platforms, and more. If you don't see the exact connector you want, you can usually compose it with HTTP requests or build a small custom node. The key thing is speed. You can go from idea to working automation in hours, not days, which is essential when you're selling a time-limited pilot or a starter package. Third, real-time triggers and webhooks. Your automations don't have to wait for a nightly batch. Whether an event happens in a form submission, a payment, or a new email, you can trigger the workflow instantly. That real-time responsiveness not only improves client outcomes, but also lets you promise shorter turnaround times in your proposals, a powerful differentiator when you're selling automation services. Fourth, data transformation and conditional logic. Data rarely looks the way it needs to look in downstream apps. With built-in tools to shape, map, and transform data, plus if-then logic and branching, you can decide precisely what to do with each data item. This means you can tailor each client's workflow to their exact data models and business rules, while keeping a single, maintainable blueprint behind the scenes. Fifth, hosting flexibility and control. You can run n8n on your own hardware or cloud server, or you can opt for the managed cloud. Self-hosted means you're in control of security, data residency, and cost, crucial when you're delivering automation services to multiple clients. The cloud option lowers the barrier to entry with managed updates and easier collaboration in teams. This flexibility is a huge selling point when you're packaging services for different clients with different compliance needs. With those features in mind, let me walk you through a practical, hands-on demo. This is the kind of workflow you could package and sell as a starter automation for small businesses. Turning new form submissions into CRM records, a welcome email and a Slack alert, all while logging everything for auditing. Imagine you do this. A potential client uses a Typeform form for new leads. A Typeform webhook fires as soon as someone submits the form. In n8n, you've set up a trigger node, webhook or the Typeform specific trigger if you have it installed. The moment the submission lands, a set node takes the raw payload and maps fields into a clean, consistent shape. First name, last name, email, company, lead source, and a calculated lead score based on the form answers. This ensures every downstream step sees a predictable data structure. Next, you want to decide what to do with the lead. Imagine a conditional node that checks lead score. If the score is high, you route it toward your CRM and a high-priority follow-up. If it's mid or low, you push it into a marketing nurture list and a weekly digest. The high-priority path uses a CRM connector, let's say HubSpot or Salesforce, to create or update a contact, attach a note, and create a follow-up task. You configure credentials securely in n8n so the app never stores raw keys in your workflow. Now let's add a few more layers. Imagine you append the lead data to a Google Sheet so your team has a running, auditable log of every submission. You set the sheet ID, map columns for date, name, email, company, score, and status, and you enable an append operation. This keeps a transparent trail for clients who value reporting. Parallel to CRM updates, imagine sending a personalized welcome email. You bring in a Gmail node or an SMTP node for broader compatibility and craft a dynamic email body. Hi, what first name, thanks for reaching out. We've reviewed your submission and will be in touch soon. The email body uses data from the set node so every recipient gets a tailored message. To close the loop, imagine posting a quick notification to Slack so the sales or outreach team can jump on hot leads immediately. You configure a Slack node with a channel and a templated message like new high priority lead, sometimes first name or last name, from Hoff Company. Lead score, also as lead score. Check HubSpot for details. This ensures the team acts fast, which is often the difference between winning a client and watching them go to a competitor. Finally, you want reliability. Imagine a small error-handling path. If any step fails, the workflow triggers a retry or sends a failure alert to you or the team and logs the issue in a separate Google Sheet or a dedicated error tracking tool. You deploy and test by submitting a test form, verifying that the CRM entry is created, the email lands in the inbox, the Slack message goes through, and the log row is appended. You adjust timeout settings and matrices to balance speed and resilience. When you're confident, you enable the workflow in your production environment, whether that's on your local machine, a private server, or the cloud. And you've got a repeatable, auditable automation that you can hand off to a client as part of a starter automation package. In a real-world money-making workflow, you'll likely create a few different service tiers built on these building blocks. For example, a lead intake package, form submissions funnel into CRM plus email plus basic reporting. A customer onboarding package, account creation in CRM, welcome sequence, and a kickoff Slack alert. A weekly reporting package, pull data from multiple sources, generate a report, and email it to stakeholders. Each package uses the same core workflow philosophy, but with different connectors, field mappings, and trigger events. Because the logic is clear and modular, you can price these as flat-fee onboarding packages or offer ongoing maintenance and optimization at a monthly retainer. The key is to package deliverables that are easy for a client to understand, predictable in cost, and reproducible across other clients. Pricing and plans for n8n come into play here as you're deciding how to offer services. The core, self-hosted, open-source edition is free to use, perfect for learning, prototyping, and running a handful of workflows on your own hardware or a basic VPS. If you want the convenience of a hosted solution with managed updates, built-in scaling, and collaborative features for a team, you can opt for n8n Cloud. The cloud options are paid plans, and they scale with usage, team size, concurrency, and retention needs. If you're just starting out or testing the market, the self-hosted path gives you maximum flexibility and the lowest upfront risk. If you're serving multiple clients and want to remove the operational burden, cloud plans let you focus on the automation work itself rather than infrastructure. Another practical angle is to monetize the automation you build by creating reusable templates. You can package a lead engine or an onboarding wrapper as a template or blueprint that you customize for each client. This makes your proposals faster, your delivery more consistent, and your invoicing simpler. Because n8n is open and flexible, you can adjust connectors, field names, and logic to align with the client's tech stack without reinventing the wheel each time. If you're ready to try n8n, I'll drop the link in the description to the official site and to the affiliate page as well, so you can explore both the self-hosted path and the cloud option. I'm showing you how to structure things here, but the exact path you choose will depend on your hosting preferences, client needs, and how hands-on you want to be with maintenance. Let me recap the money-making approach in a simple way. Build repeatable automation playbooks using a visual, node-based editor with triggers, actions, data transformation, and error handling. Create client-ready workflows that solve real, measurable problems like lead capture, onboarding, or reporting. Package those workflows into service offerings with clear scope, timelines, and pricing. Choose a hosting strategy that aligns with your bandwidth, security requirements, and client expectations. Self-hosted for control or cloud for convenience. Leverage templates and modular architecture so you can scale quickly across multiple clients. Affiliate call to action. If you'd like to explore n8n more deeply, I'll drop the link in the description. It's a great way to experiment with building your own automation services, and it helps support the channel when you're ready to take on client work. I'm not forcing anything here, but if you want to test drive it, the links are there for you. And now, as we wrap up, let's talk about the practical next steps you can take today to start monetizing automation with n8n. First, pick a small but valuable workflow you can deliver quickly to a client, something like lead intake to CRM plus email. Second, document the workflow as a deliverable you can show in proposals, including data flow diagrams and an example run. Third, practice packaging. Define what's included in a starter package, what's in a standard package, and what constitutes an upgrade. Fourth, set up a minimal, reproducible environment. If you're self-hosting, you can spin up a local environment or a lightweight server. If you're leaning toward the cloud, set up a trial to demonstrate the workflow to a prospective client. Fifth, prepare a simple pricing model that makes your time valuable but still approachable for small businesses. Offer a fixed price onboarding plus optional retainers for ongoing optimization. Throughout all of this, remember that the real value you provide isn't just the automation. It's the reliability, speed, and measurable outcomes you enable for clients. When you can demonstrate faster lead follow-ups, fewer manual errors, and better reporting, you'll have a compelling story to tell in your proposals and pitches. If this was helpful, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload, and drop a comment below. I'll see you in the next one.